I'm Jeff.
I'm Donna.
And this is
The Meador Effect!
Out in Arizona where Saguaro Grove live Jeff and Donna Meador and their TV show. Talking about love and the things they do. Bringing peace and joy to people like you. It's the Meador Effect. It's the Meador Effect. It's their sincere desire to have an effect. As a matter of fact, it's the Meador Effect. 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 Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a fantastic show coming your way.
My favorite topic.
We are going to be talking about our favorite topic, which is you.
Well, I love that. That's your favorite topic. My favorite topic is gifts.
Gifts.
Gifts. Now, before we begin, let's give them a little preview of why we talk about gifts and why that's important. I think we should talk about Dr. Gary Chapman.
Yes. Donna and I, if you watch our show on a regular basis, you will hear us on a regular basis talk about the 5 love languages. Most people have all 5 in some form, way, some shape or form. My primary love language is acts of service.
So let's back up for a second. Yes, his primary love language, his number 1 on his list is acts of service. What does that mean, ladies? If I cook him a meal, if I do the laundry, that's an act of showing him love.
Yes.
That's what that means, right?
Yes.
But what's really cool is that he shows me love the same way.
Yes.
Because that speaks so loudly for him. So he'll go around and sometimes he'll make the bed if I haven't gotten to it yet, which is very rare. But it's like, wow, I came back into the room and the bed is made. Holy mackerel. Hang up the lights, ladies, like when you have a chore around the house that doesn't get done and all of a sudden the guy is showing up doing things. That's cool.
So what are the 5 love languages?
Well, I got the first 2 because my number 1 is physical touch. Love that.
Yes.
My number 2 is acts of service, which is your number 1.
Yes.
That works out really well for me.
Yes, we have words of affirmation.
Yes.
Yes, we have quality time.
Yes.
And then we have
My favorite.
gifts.
Gifts. So, and it's so funny because gifts is not my number 1.
No.
But it's right up there. 1, 2, and 3. They matter.
Your top 3 are within just a few percentage points of each other. By the way, you can go to the 5 love languages online and they have a test.
Yeah.
And you can actually see what your primary love language is.
So why is this important? And by the way, don't overthink it. When you do that test, it should take you minutes, just minutes, right?
Yep.
We don't want to overthink it.
No.
Why is that?
No.
Because we want to come from the gut. They question things so you can figure out what is speaking to you the loudest to make you feel loved, right? So my number 3 was gifts, and I thought, well, that's really interesting. I expected it to be higher.
Yeah.
It was pretty high when you look at the percentages. Jeff, on the other hand, 0.
And I couldn't believe it because the last time I took the test, which had been like 20 years before, it was not 0.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm positive. I didn't know it was possible to have 0 on any category, but I managed somehow to get a 0 on gift giving.
Now, I want you to know, folks, that I'm pretty tuned in to being in a relationship and understanding how not to put certain requirements on your special significant other because they just can't rise to the occasion, right? So I knew that gifts was, now that I knew that gifts was 0, I figured, okay,
well, let's back up just a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll give you a little story that really confirmed just how bad the gift-giving category was for me.
Oh, that was hard. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So what was it? It was our first married Christmas. We'll never forget it. And and I said to Jeff in November of that year, why don't we go shopping the day after Thanksgiving? Because why? That's Black Friday. And we could pick out a comforter for our bed.
No, you didn't say for our bed. She said we'll pick out a comforter and that can be our Christmas gift to each other.
It sounded like a good idea at the time.
That's what she said.
So So,
And ladies and gentlemen, I believed her.
so he says, you mean that could be our Christmas gift? Of course. I said, yes. Why not, right? So off we go to the store and we find a perfect comforter and I'm
Yes.
very happy and life is good. And then a month rolls by and we're getting near Christmas and I'm getting a little worried. I'm looking at the Christmas tree. There's no gift under there for me.
We're not getting near Christmas. It is Christmas.
That's right.
We're so close, it's there.
It was Christmas Eve. That's right. It was Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So I said, honey, I'm a little nervous. I don't see a gift under the tree with my name on it.
No, that's because your gift is in on the bed. Yeah.
I'm starting to sweat at the thought of this again. So I said, he said to me, did you get me a gift? Of course I got you a gift.
Yeah.
It's our first Merry Christmas. Why wouldn't I get you a gift? I couldn't believe it. I'm telling you, my heart started to swell. My fingers started to sweat. His mouth went dry. He lost all color in his face. I felt bad. I actually felt bad for him.
So did I.
Yeah, he lost the saliva. So I was so upset, and I understand why, and I'm going to share with you that in a moment.
Biddy, biddy.
Biddy, biddy, boop. But I was so upset at myself for having this expectation, and so I grab the dog and I go for a walk because I have to fume. I gotta really roll this. I'm like, okay, I need to breathe. I gotta understand. I know this man loves me with every fiber of his being.
I do.
Why in the world do I think a gift would mean that he doesn't love me, right? This was like a big thing. And so I just said, I got to go for a walk. I grabbed the dog and out I went and cried and came to terms with myself because I understood how much he loved me. If I didn't know that much, if I hadn't done that much personal development, I don't know that I would have known that, but
Yeah.
I knew how much you loved me.
Yes.
So I had to take responsibility. So I came back into the house after my short walk,
Put the pistol away.
and Jeff shows up and he says, "Baby, I am so sorry." And I said, "No, it's not you. This was on me. This was truly on me. I know better. I know better than to think that you can all of a sudden go buy a gift when that doesn't speak to you. Like, I knew better. But it hurt, but it knew better. I knew better, right? So he's like, I'm going to buy you a gift for St. Patty's Day, for Valentine's Day, which of course he should. For other gifts. Like, there's always going to be a gift, right? Because it's important to me. But I sort of called myself out to this whole experience. It's been really interesting.
Yeah.
But now we have an agreement that combines more than one love language.
I was going to say the ultimate outcome of this event was that we came up with a system, and for the guys that are out there like moi, who I guess we could say horribly bad at gift giving would be the nicest thing we could say.
You missed the present giving gene. Somehow we missed the present giving gene.
Yes, exactly. Which also helped me to understand I am not related to Santa Claus. So, anyways, no. What we've now decided is that before the event, whether it's a birthday, whether it's Christmas, whether any gift-giving event that's coming, we go out a day or two before, and we let her pick out the gift that I'm just dying to give her.
I love it, because you know what that means now? We're combining quality time.
Yes.
Acts of service. Jeff figures out where we're going to go, what we're going to do for lunch. He's got that all mapped out. And let's say it's a bicycle or a piece of jewelry or something. I get to pick out what I like. And ladies, we love to shop. See, men are okay to buy. Women love to shop.
Yeah.
So we love the shopping activity. So it couldn't be more exciting
Yes.
for me. I love
now,
it.
why are we bringing all of this up? The main reason and you watch this show very long and you will hear us talk about the love languages over and over and over. There are really 3 pillars that we talk about in having a great relationship, and one of them is the 5 love languages. Why is it critical? Because you have to know your love language and you have to know your partner's love language if, in fact, you are going to have a growing, caring, loving, successful, long-term relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Gary Chapman was brilliant when he got that book together. I think that book's been out for over 20 years.
Well, no, it was like 86 when he wrote it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and I actually knew about that book 20 years ago, or actually before I met my late husband.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, your love language has changed.
They changed.
So it definitely changed for me. I didn't know. Acts of service, remember, 20 years ago was 0 for me, and it's now my number 2. And I never knew I would love acts of service. I never knew I would love a man to, whatever, sweep the patio or rake up the leaves or make the bed. Like, I didn't know. That's cool.
Well, again, once I found out that her primary love language was physical touch, and men, yes, men don't mistake physical touch for sexual touch.
Right.
It can be the same, but a lot of times she'll just be sitting on the couch. My wife is an international best-selling author, and she's working on her next book, and she might be on the couch typing away. And what do? I stop by, I'll come over behind her, and I'll just touch her shoulder. Or I might lean over and just kiss the top of her head. And
love it.
It's critically important that you know the love language that most ministers to the person you're with. If you don't know that, you're going to be at a strong disadvantage.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you know. It's sort of like knowing a secret. It's like the secret code, like you sort of know what speaks to your partner, and that is huge. I love it.
Well, we all think, before you know the 5 love languages, you think that everybody feels love, experiences love, receives love the same way that you do, and the fact is, we don't.
No, we don't.
We don't at all.
Isn't that interesting?
Well, it is. One of the things that, again, we've been talking about is gift giving. And I want to give Donna right now a very special gift she doesn't know about. I have written her a song.
Oh.
And this song, there's no words to it yet, but I wanted to share it with her, wanted to share it with you guys. And it's simply called Donna's Song. And it goes like this.
I love it already.
That's
so
one of my gifts to Donna.
How cool is that? I can't wait to hear words. That's so exciting.
I'm working on the words.
Nobody's ever written me a song before.
Can't say that anymore?
No. Thank you. Wow, that's cool. That's so good. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Woo! Now what? I don't know.
Well, again, we want to, and you saw the reaction she had to that. It's not just because it's a song, it's because it's a gift, and gifts speak to her. Now, I'm not really big into gifts. Now, I will say this, I love watches, and she knows that. When it comes time for the next Christmas, she now doesn't really say, what do you want for Christmas? She will ask, which one do you want? Right. So,
yeah, and so we have, here's the other rule, by the way. There's another part to the rule of the gift-giving scenario. Since we both know typically what the gift to each other is going to be,
yes,
our rule is, for example, Jeff gets to pick out his watch for this Christmas, and he gets to pick it out. He gets to order it, but it comes in my name, and he doesn't get to see it again till Christmas morning.
Yes.
And he's like, well, what happens if it's going to be the wrong one? I said, no. You send me an email. You give me all the specs on it. I'll make sure it's the right one. And last year I pulled a funny with him. Do you want to share that story?
It wasn't funny. It was cruel. It was cruel. I'm still shaky.
It was so funny.
I'm so excited because she is, actually, I'm wearing the watch that she gave me last Christmas.
That's right.
And I found it. It's called Spin. The brand is a boutique brand. It's called Spinnaker. I'm so excited. It's my first Spinnaker, and I open up the box, and there's this black Bulova with diamonds. And it took me about 10 seconds before I finally figured out, oh, that's her watch. She's trying to be funny. Wasn't funny.
You don't think that was funny? I think it was funny.
Well,
yeah.
out of everybody that was in the room, everyone laughed except me. So.
So he got his watch, and it was perfect because he
Yes.
thought maybe the wrong one showed up in the mail, but that was good.
Yes.
I love doing stuff like that. Yeah.
But again, it goes back to the love languages. Can I share a quick story from
I don't know. Is it going to
the
make me
previous
look
life?
really good?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Well, yes. Okay. Do we have time for it? Yes, I think we do. Go ahead.
My first marriage, we came home from church one day, one night. We had 2 girls at the time. And I said, why don't you put the girls to bed? I'll go ahead and fix us some tea, and then we'll sit down on the couch and we'll talk. And she loved the idea, and she went in. Well, I went into the kitchen, and then I looked over to the laundry room, and the light was out. Well, acts of service, I put a new light in. And then I looked, and there was things in the dryer, and I pulled all those out, and I folded them. And then I basically saw that there was things in the washer, and I did like 5 or 6 different things, and finally got around to fixing the tea. And when I walked in, I said, I'm ready. To which I heard, you just want to do other stuff. Just, I'm already in bed. And I was like, what happened? But what happened was her love language was quality time. And I didn't know about the love languages.
Yeah.
If I would have understood that quality time was her love language, and I really wanted to minister to her, I would have left all that other stuff for later. So I say that to say this, it's critically important that you know your love language and you know her love language and vice versa.
And by the way, I'm okay with him doing the laundry and, putting up light bulbs. I'm okay with that. And really quick, because I know we're coming to a close here, but the jewelry I'm wearing today, this ring and these earrings, were something that I found. I happened to be in Florida visiting my mother.
Yes.
And I saw this ring and I just fell in love with it. And I called Jeff up and I said, baby, I just found my birthday present. So in true rule, we have a rule, right? So when I got it, of course, and when I came home, I had to hand it over and wait till my birthday. But
Yes.
it was totally worth it. It was so fun.
Yeah. But again, it's one of those things, knowing who you are, knowing who she is, and one of the other pillars that we always talk about, personal development. This is all part of personal development, of knowing who you are and raising yourself up to the next level. I can't minister to her in a loving way if I really don't know what really floats her boat. What does minister to her?
Yeah.
I know now it's physical touch, acts of service. I think one of the very first things I ever did for this woman when we first met was to put up a light that a lot of guys said they would, and in their defense, it was like 20 feet
Never mind in their defense. It's not on the floor of my house for a year.
But yeah, and it was a scary install, but we got it done. But again, that was my primary love language, acts of service. So.
And my mother told me, he's a keeper. She had gifted me the light, and I hadn't been able to get it up. And when you came over and did that, she's like, he's a keeper. I said,
Yeah.
I know. And he was very new in our relationship, so that was really lovely.
Very new.
Yeah.
But again, it's critically important that you know these things. What is her love language? What's his love language?
Yeah.
And then after you know it, then begin to operate towards that, because that's how that person will receive love. And on the flip side of the coin, that's how they're going to try and show you love.
Right. I'm glad you said that. I just want to say that the more you know about yourself, the more you will be able to know about others.
Yeah.
People say sometimes to me, how did you know that? I know myself so well, inside and out. I have dug deep to peel the layers of the onion to figure out why I was the way I was, and so forth. That it becomes easier to see this in other people, and that's the same thing with the love languages. So,
Oh, it is.
Thank
It
you,
is.
Dr. Gary Chapman, for that insight.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
just touching millions and millions of lives all over the world. Again, this program is about having a great relationship with your spouse or your significant other. If you don't know how to talk their language, let's put it in another perspective. You go over to Italy,
Yeah.
and I just meet the girl of my dreams. She doesn't speak English. Guess what? It's going to be awfully hard to have any type of relationship with her if she doesn't speak English and I don't speak Italian. And you might even meet, and you might even have a little spark between you, but unless I speak a little Italian, or I've got a little Italian, she's got a little English, it's still going to be hard until you really are able to understand fully what that other person is saying. Yeah, it's difficult. So go on to The 5 love languages, find them online.
Yeah.
Dr. Gary Chapman's website. Take the test and learn what you're about and what your significant other is about.
And I'll just say real quick, 20 years ago when I discovered the 5 love languages, I couldn't figure out why I was not connecting with guys I was dating. So when I discovered that book, I literally, the first thing I would say to them, would you read a book if I asked you to? If they said no, I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Okay, nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Handshake. You know, it's like, yeah, really.
Guys, thank you so much for taking some time and spending it with us. It means so much to us when you give us some of your most valuable thing you have, which is your time.
Yeah, and I'm really glad you read the book, honey.
Yes. And it's our sincere desire that the Meador effect have an effect on you.
Have an effect. As a matter of fact, it's the Meador effect. It's the Meador effect. It's the Meador effect. It's the Meador effect.